If you own a low voltage Pro Model 3, whether you got there by upgrade or you bought the tester that way, one of the great things about it is you can store and print up to 250 test reports, and that is the purpose of this video. We're going to show you how to transfer those stored test reports to your PC. Now when you turn on the low voltage Pro, it'll tell you how many tests you have stored, if any, on the opening screen. In this case, it said we had 2. So let's go ahead and transfer those reports. Step number 1 is to plug it into the USB port. And USB pops up on the screen. And by the way, we are not going to show you how to download the Low Voltage Pro Manager software in this video, because we covered that in detail in the video that talks about upgrading your tester. So for this video, it's quite simple. We're just going to go to the Low Voltage Pro icon or shortcut, and we're going to bring up the Low Voltage Pro control panel. Of course, right away you get the big green button. You want to hit that to connect to the tester. Now because we are a Low Voltage Pro 3, it has a View Reports pop-up, so it lets us view reports if we want to. So let's do that. We'll hit View Reports, goes ahead and reads our test data, and on the screen those are the 2 reports that it said we had earlier. Here is report number 1 if we want to see what it is. Now we're going to be printing this out, and here's report number 2. And they're both roughly 50-foot cables. This is a 54-foot cable. This is a 55-foot cable. As you can see, both of them passed. Now let's go ahead and enter some test notes about this cable. Okay, here I'm going to say jack 15. Oops, had caps lock on. Here I'm going to say jack 15, and see how it shows up here under notes. I'm going to go test report number 2. I'm going to say this is jack 16, and again it shows up there. And so we're ready to go. We're ready to print our report. So we go up to File, Print. And what do we want to do? Now the choices we have, we can actually select which tests we want to print. Now we're going to keep them both selected so we print both. And we have a choice of whether to print out the timestamps or not. For the first printout here, let's go ahead and put the timestamps on it so you can see what we're talking about. When the timestamps are always there, it's just whether you print them out or not. The timestamp, here's test number 1. The timestamp shows up here where it was January 1st, 2012 at 4:52. Now, there are probably going to be times when you don't want your customer to know what time you tested the cable, because it might have been 3 in the morning and he expected you to have done it during the day. So in that case, simply uncheck printing out the timestamp, and that won't show up in your report, and I'll show you how that's done. So we'll go File, we'll go to Print, and we'll go Don't Print. We'll uncheck that and we'll go ahead and print it, and you'll see the difference in the report. So you see how easy this is, how easy the LV Pro Manager makes it to dump these reports. Here you notice we don't have any dates. Here's the one with the dates, and here you notice we don't have any dates. But what we do have on both of them is we have the length of each pair, the propagation delay, the skew, the impedance of the cable, and of course that it passed. Now whether this was a speaker cable, a voice cable, a video cable, or a data cable, they would all show up in these reports. You can store all of that information regardless of cable type. Now that we have some printed reports, let's say we want to send the customer a file, maybe an Excel file. We'll go back to Print, but instead of printing, we're going to select Print to File. Now watch this. I'm going to leave the timestamps in there, and I'm going to say Print right there, and it's going to say it's a text file. What do we want to call it? Well, this happened to be a Newcastle school job we did with 2 drops. So we're going to name it, and I created, by the way, a folder called LV Pro Reports on my C drive already. I'm going to save that under Newcastle School.txt. Save. And now that's saved away, okay? Now I'm done, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go do a little exploring here, and I'm going to go to my C drive, and I'm going to look for my LV Reports folder right here, and I'm going to find my Newcastle text. Now, I'll double click it. This happened to open up in Notepad. All the information that we saw on our printout appears here in Notepad. Now, you could submit your customers, email your customer reports in a Notepad format, but Excel looks a little cleaner, so let's do that. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go Start, and I'm going to bring up my Excel program, which is Excel Programs, Office, Excel. Now this is a fairly old version of Excel, but I'm going to go File, Open, and I'm going to go to my Low Voltage Pro folder. Low Voltage Pro folder. I'm going to look for all files, finds my text file, and it realizes it's not an Excel file, so it wants to know if I want to import it. So it brings up its import manager, and it's a delimited file because it's delimited, as you saw, with spaces in between. That's all I have to check and just go Finish, and boom, there I am, my 2 tests now in an Excel spreadsheet. And you know, now I can do everything I want. I can say, well, okay, maybe I want to bold this here, you know, maybe I want to separate these guys by a row to make it good looking, and do that, bold that, and okay, maybe I want to, that's good enough. Now let's say let's want to print this report. So it'll print that. I can do a File, Save As, and save it now as a Excel workbook, Newcastle School Excel workbook. Now I can go to my email program and email them a genuine Excel report. So you have a lot of flexibility here with the Low Voltage Pro Manager in handling the data that it took you so much time to compile. And that's what we wanted to do with this program. We wanted to give you the flexibility to get a professional report, to email it to your client right along with your invoice. It's a really great way to wrap up the job. Thank you.